Hello everyone, Kali Muscle used to have videos of his workouts on the web. The story of the hero, as he himself said, was simple. He served time, was released, told how he trained and ate in prison, how he got in shape after. I trained by myself with other stars. I trained more than once in the C.T. Fletcher gym. Crossbar lifts with a body weight of 113 kilograms, dumbbell presses of 90 kilograms, impressive volumes, velocity, stories about a past life. If I'm not mistaken, in 2012 to 2013 and a few years after, Kali was a real star. After that, he slowed down somewhat in the media, but on November 21st, Kali was hurt again. He had a heart attack, but the doctors saved him. Today we are talking about what happened to Kali, the once popular hero, and how his life and himself have changed in recent years. So Chuck Kirkendall, aka Kali Muscle, is generally a colorful character with the right fate to break into YouTube. He came out of the criminal environment from childhood in sports. His brother was shot, and Chuck himself went to prison for robbery as a young man. Most likely with aggravating circumstances, because 11 years in St. Quentin's prison is a serious sentence, after which his life could well go downhill. He trained in prison and gained over 100 kilograms. Moreover, Kali says that he continued to swing, even when the iron for training was removed from the prison, which the prisoners used not only to swing cans but also to split the head of some opponent in a local showdown. As a result, Kali was released after serving his full sentence. He tried himself as a coach but returned to prison 4 times. After another release, Kali finally settled down and got down to business. He got into episodes of music videos and commercials. Still, he had a striking appearance. Finally, all the fitness equipment was available to him and he began to perform bodybuilding. Kali later recalled that in those years he watched Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Flex Wheeler, that they were in perfect order, living beautifully, and that was exactly the motivation for Kali Muscle. He wanted to get into bodybuilding. He even won the Mr. California tournament in 2012. 2 years later, he won the West Coast Classic. But Kali didn't even make the top 5 at the U.S. Championships. After that, he contacted bodybuilding gurus and asked them how to reach the next level of bodybuilding. Well, when they sent him a list of what and how much he would have to take, even Kali said that it was not for him, and besides, he realized that money is not in bodybuilding, money is in social networks. And once he launched a YouTube channel, and after the Instagram profile, things went like clockwork. This is briefly about the path of Kali Muscle to prison, back to freedom, and straight to glory. Then the production of food additives. Of course he would not have taken up something like this, and with the popularity that he had. The videos on YouTube were mostly about training and nutrition, free and behind bars. Kali is a star. He's always on set and at exhibitions, and things are going well. Increasingly, he is in the frame with C.T. Fletcher, another star of those years. All new videos, Kali is in the frame by himself or with other healthy guys. Yes, these are all the same 10th round workouts, but the personal brand is formed, the views are coming. Why not actually swing and eat in front of the camera if it's being watched? Moreover, the videos with eating food, often fast food, had a separate category. Every viewer watches what they like, every author on YouTube shoots how they want. Plus, Kali is not the only one who, let's say, was very active on camera during training or, say, gorged on the most spicy food, and then saved the day with ice cream. There is such content too, it has the right to life, why not? And all this time, according to Kali, he was literally on HRT dosages. After that, I took a long break because I was planning to become a father. At the same time, he recorded a video explaining why he had decreased in volume. Well, that's exactly what happened. After a while, Kali is the father of the twins. He's still in shape, he's a dollar millionaire. Everything is in order, and since then, training has largely been replaced by auto content. Just endless videos about food and cars. Over time, Kali has increased the volume of content produced many times. Well, in order not to delay the timing of this video, we will immediately fast forward to 2021. It's the end of the year and Kali posts a video from the hospital room. He had a heart attack, but the doctors were able to save him. Kaylee says that for years he had problems with swelling on his legs. People told him that this was one of the signs of heart problems, that he needed to get checked out, slow down in every sense, think about the problem and solve it. But, says Kaylee, when you feel like a Superman, you're strong and popular, you just ignore the outside opinion, like everything's going to be okay. But everything turned out differently. Another trip to the dentist, anesthesia, that's it. The next day, Kali just lay down to rest and woke up with severe chest pain. At the same time, Kali and his girlfriend waited for 2 more hours. All this time, the engine continued to work somehow. It is worth paying tribute to Kaylee's trained heart, and only then did they call an ambulance. Kali had an emergency operation. His blood flow was disrupted in one of the arteries. The reasons, besides the obvious ones, based on his lifestyle and extensive first aid kit, Kaylee immediately remembered diuretics in the past, back when he was performing on stage. Kaylee drew attention to them precisely because the swelling on his legs also appeared out of the blue. In general, Kaylee says that it all started from the time of prison food, far from the standards of healthy eating. After I was released, the habit remained. Plus, he always had high blood pressure. He was told that there were problems, but Kaylee thought that the doctors just wanted to make money from him. Well, after the birth of the children, Kaylee says, he completely increased the dosages, although he had previously been on literally maintenance doses, almost straight. Anyway, Kelly Muscle got a second chance. He said that on the advice of doctors, he switched to a healthy diet as much as possible. Protein, fiber after a workout is certainly not a burger with a bro after a workout, and the high-calorie meals from prison days are also a thing of the past. But if you want to live, you'll have to look at the plate. More vegetables means more fruits. This is also a good idea. At least that's what Kali decided. He tests the food he wants and how he is used to doing it. In terms of the image on camera, Kali does not change herself, no matter what. Maybe that's the way it should be. And again, tons of automotive content with buying, selling cars, pumping them, and so on. In a couple of videos with Kali, he told me that he began to eat once a day, at least periodically. It is noticeable that the volume of his muscles has decreased, but it's understandable that he had to come to this. After all, Kaylee is 50 years old, lighting up like at 30 without looking back, and brakes won't work anymore. Plus, Kali remembers the harm of microwaves and artificial food, but also encourages less negativity because it burns out no worse than bad habits. The pros and cons of intermittent fasting, or say 1 meal a day, are all already in the medical category. Everyone has different opinions on this matter and their own arguments. What a message from Kaylee. Now I'm afraid to work with iron, especially with free weights. I was just thinking, remembering how I hung 5 discs on each side. I remember and think, why? If someone asked, what would I recommend to myself as a 30-year-old? Look, I didn't even know what bodybuilding was until I was 34. So I would tell myself, as a 34-year-old, not to compete in bodybuilding, and don't take all those synthetic drugs, lab products. That's what I would tell myself. I would say to stay dry, toned. You don't have to look like a giant gorilla. Keep making cash because I've always loved it. But overall, the bodybuilding competition experience, I regret it. Maybe natural bodybuilding. Yes, that's what I would say to myself. Swing naturally, and generally stay away from drugs. These are the conclusions from Kali. To summarize, he's still a media personality, still a fashionista in his looks and in his uniform. Although not as huge as before, for a man of his age and who has experienced certain heart problems, he looks great. The views are not what they used to be, but he runs a business, advertises it on his social networks. He is raising children and is glad that he has a second chance and the opportunity to share his thoughts and experiences with the audience. This issue is primarily about a character from the past. Much depends on what age you were when you watched it. Maybe in my youth, when I was just coming to the gym. Or maybe Kaylee's popularity peaked in your mature years. Or maybe you just recently came across his old videos. In general, this is the release of a hero from the past. When bodybuilding was on the rise, there were a lot more charismatic characters. They still weren't steaming over production. when there weren't so many authors on YouTube, and in principle, all this hadn't turned into a business for the most part. Anyone who remembers the old videos of Kaylee Muscle? What do you think about his current content and, in principle, how his fate turned out? Share in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching. As always, I will be grateful for your support. It helps in the development of the channel. Do not forget to click on the bell so as not to miss the new issue. Thanks for watching. Sports Guru was with you. See you later.